The baubles are blowing in the wind and the garlands are garnished. It's the Alton Towers Christmas event. Welcome back to Pricks and Trips. We're at Alton Towers for their Christmas event at long last this year. Haven't had a chance to come so far, so I'm so excited to get in there and see what it's going to be like. And in fact, we don't even need to get in there before we start seeing Christmas. We've got garlands and baubles and all sorts at the entrance this year, which I think is a bit of an improvement from when I last came. At least they've got rid of those massive, horrible security tents. We've got Christmas trees lining all the entrances. We normally have a festive sign up at the top, but it seems to be missing this year. Never mind, can't have everything. But the entrance is glistening as ever. This is one of my favourite views on the park, even when they don't have events going on. And look at that mass of Christmas trees for this season. It's incredible. Even all the lampposts got these wreaths on this year. I don't think I've seen them previously. I think this is the most impressive Main Street's looked for a few years. Last year they actually had the main event sort of going through the village. So they had some little pop-up stalls where they had some reindeer games and such like. Last year it kind of felt like you'd stepped right into the heart of the event, whereas this year it kind of does feel like the entrance to Wonderland. So Alton Towers and Drayton Manor take very different approaches to their Christmas events. Drayton Manor opens everything, and Alton Towers opens hardly anything. Only things open today is CBeebies Land, Mutiny Bay, and Hex is open as well today apparently. But the CBeebies Land entrance, just like the rest of the park, is looking ace. And I've already spotted it through the trees. Oh my word, I had no idea that this Bluey ride was going to be as big as it is. Look at it, it's going to tower over this area of the park. I mean, just judging from the lift hill on its own, that's got to be at least 30 feet or so up in the air. And what I can only assume is going to be the Healer household is looking so impressive. And you can already see the front of the house is coming together, and I'm assuming this bit to the left-hand side is going to be sort of their balcony and doorway. And you might just be able to see over on the left-hand side, they've already started putting some of the smaller decorations on the top, so they've got a bone just at the top of the chimney stack. So they've got those massive blue advertising boards all the way round. But I don't think that they've actually announced the name of the new ride yet. I'm assuming it's not going to be Bluey New Ride, arriving spring 2026. But this ride does look incredibly good so far, for a kid's ride anyway. And I think this is probably the best overview I'm going to get from anywhere around here. I mean, especially without peeking in through these tiny little holes where some of the hinges are. There's very little that you can see at all. And to be absolutely clear, I am not in the business of climbing up things, and that wall is like 8 feet tall. So there's absolutely no chance that I'm going to get you up over there, not even with my arm span. I mean, it really doesn't look like the most inspiring layout of a roller coaster I've ever seen. You're going to be up over the lift hill, down the first drop, over the hill. I'm assuming you're going to do a quick little helix round, up a figure of 8, down the other side, round to the left, and then you're pretty much into the final brake run. But for the space they've got in this area, I think they've done a great job in filling it. I think my only question at this point is that ride going to be standard roller coaster trains, or is there going to be some kind of special feature to them? Because with the rumoured removal of Spinball Wizard in a couple of years' time, maybe this can be Alton Towers' new mini spinning coaster. And I'm not talking about something like Spinball from Alton Towers, but maybe something a bit more like Storm Chaser from Poulton's Park. I will say, I think the actual track itself is a little bit small to be doing anything too exciting on the trains, but hey, it'll be nice even if they're just decorated well. The sign, which is most definitely new for the last few months. I wonder why that's gone up. Given that this used to be the biggest roller coaster in CBeebies Land, well, I suppose it still is the biggest roller in CBeebies Land, the Bluey edition is going to be a much needed update. I think the Bluey ride is probably just going to be a bit more of a faster, a bit more of an intense version of the Octonauts roller coaster. There's not really much more to be said about this one. It's a figure 8 roller coaster, which is for kids. It's good fun though. And actually it picks up a bit more speed than you would think it does. Been on it a couple of times. And yeah, it's not a bad ride, but it is definitely aimed at those sort of 3 to 5 year olds, I'd say. And I'm really glad to know that Alton Towers is invested in those slightly bigger kid rides, because my last vlog when I went to Drayton Manor, one of my criticisms of Alton Towers is that there's been nothing at all really for that sort of like 1 metre plus, that 4 to 10 sort of range. It all feels like it's been designed for very little kids. And actually with the addition of the new Bluey ride, which actually, if I just flick you around for a second, you can see it over the top of these buildings. That's how big it is. That's going to be a brilliant addition for those slightly bigger kids. And I don't know if you know this, but apparently Bluey and the Healers are quite a popular family. Biggest queue of the day I've seen so far. Look at them all with their party hats on. It's a small addition, but it's things like that which do make or break a day out at a theme park at Christmas. There's a great selection of shows on at Big Fun Showtime today. We've got Bluey twice, Hey Dougie twice, the Teletubbies, which is definitely something from my childhood, and Bing Live as well. And of course that's on top of the Furchester Hotel Live, which I think is one of my favourite shows that I've seen at a theme park, especially the regular ones. And they're all day long. As I say, most things, in fact all things, should be open at CBeebies Land today. The Go Jetters Rooms to Zoom ride has not quite opened up yet, but it is testing this morning. And I'm not going to say that this is the best kids play area I've ever seen, but it has a great selection of different things to do. And when you come, if it's not the Christmas event, a normal weekend, it is jam-packed in there. Peter Rabbit Hippity Hop 5-minute ride time today. Pretty much the same as it always is. And you've also got Andy's Adventure Dinosaur Dig. This is a really interactive show, and you get to meet some real-life dinosaurs as well as doing some fossil hunting as well. It's great fun in there. Somehow I don't think they're going to make the Dinosaur Dig Christmassy themed, because they get live streams in from one of their presenters from CBeebies Land who is visiting the dinosaurs. I highly doubt they're going to be re-videoing their entire thing for the Christmas event, but you never know, we'll probably check it out later. Much like last year, they've got Mistletoe Lane, which is their hotel-exclusive Santa's Grotto. Mistletoe Lane is once again exclusive for hotel guests. We live too close to justify spending £91 to go and just do a Santa's Grotto and obviously have a sleepover that we don't really need. I mean, it's good to have it included for those hotel guests. I think it's important that they get some exclusive bits, but I wouldn't mind so much if they just included it as an upcharge, which I know nobody really loves upcharges, but I do understand for Santa's Grotto where you've got very limited availability. But CBeebies Land as a whole is decorated so nicely. It would be nice to see a few more of the staff members with Santa hats on and such like, but I suppose you can't force them to. But especially people who are doing the things like Mistletoe Lane where the Santa's Grotto is. They're just wearing their Alton Towers jackets. Maybe just theme them up a little bit for this time of the year. I'm not entirely sure that they need Toxicator adverts in CBeebies Land though. I do find that a little bit odd. Obviously I know that Alton Towers is a park designed for more than just the children, but maybe keep the children themed areas to be children themed things. I'm not entirely sure that flamethrowers is quite the vibe for CBeebies Land. Just spotted they've removed all the little games from the CBeebies Big Fun Showtime tents. I can't say I'm overly surprised. Those tents were looking really tired. But they do still have some of the games. I mean, these are over by the barriers, what used to be the bowling game, and they got the sort of ring toss as well, which is still here. So they do have some festive street food this year. Festive burger, if it looks anything like that, I'll be a little bit disappointed. But the Christmas loaded fries look pretty good. That Winter Wonder hot chocolate looks great though. And in fact, I think I'm going to get some Elf Munch mix. I mean, the chocolate treat bar looks incredible. We're definitely picking up some Elf Munch mix. And I think a gingerbread hot chocolate as well. Because why not? Because I know the hat hasn't been on yet today, but it is flipping freezing. There's a gingerbread hot chocolate. I mean, that'll do, won't it? It's meant to be £6, but you do get a whole pot full, and you also get Merlin discounts as well. Well, that was a huge success. £6 is probably a little bit expensive for what you get, but having said that, it was very tasty, and for £4.80 with Merlin discount, I think we could probably pick another one of those up if we really fancied it. As a really small criticism, it could have done with a different texture in there. So it got popcorn and pretzels and mini M&Ms, which that's all very nice. But it could have done with something like a strawberry in there, or maybe even just like marshmallows, just for a textural difference. But the flavour was great. And you've also got a secondary food stand just a little bit further down towards the Mutiny Bay. And this Sleigh Ride Street Kitchen has a festive burger, festive hot dog, Christmas loaded fries, sausage roll, battered mince pies, spicy wings and corn crackers, whatever they are. There's some spicy wings, Christmas loaded fries, and corn crackers are apparently sweet corn. I didn't realise the sausage roll is a loaded sausage roll with apparently caramelised onion chutney, cranberry sauce, mustard, mayo. Looks interesting. And look at this, you've got Mr. and Mrs. Snowman out this year as well. I'm not sure I've ever seen them at Towers before. Now, like I said, the whole of the park is definitely not open today. So all of Katanga Canyon, all of sort of the Dark Forest, all those areas are all closed. Mutiny Bay is also looking festive as anything today. Just from where I'm stood here and now, I can probably see 20 Christmas trees. This is what I like to see. So in Mutiny Bay itself, of course, you've got Sharkbait Reef by Sea Life. If anybody hasn't bothered making the trip into Sharkbait Reef before, it's included in the ticket price at Alton Towers. And honestly, it's a great little walk-through attraction. Of course, in the UK, you can't expect anything but rain when you come to a theme park. But Sharkbait Reef is a great little escape for maybe 25-30 minutes if you want to have a little slow wander through. Even if you're trying to rush it, it's probably going to be about 10 or 15 minutes. Which, bearing in mind, we're normally done in a Sea Life Centre in about 40. I don't think that it's bad value to be included in the theme park ticket price. And I dare say, if Alton Towers had added that a few years after they did, they might have had it as an upcharge, a bit like they did with the Alton Towers Dungeons. And, well, the Alton Towers Dungeons has since closed, so we know how well that did. And of course, in addition to the Sea Life, which is open in Mutiny Bay, Marauders Mayhem is, along with Heave Ho, their spinning pirate ship ride as well. Now, they do have one more thing included in Mutiny Bay, which was also available last year. They've got the theatre show on the courtyard over this way. So last year it was the Sprout that saved Christmas, and this year it is the Sprout who saved Christmas. I don't mind too much. It was the first showing of it last year, and the show was brilliant. I'm hoping it's going to be just as good again this year. They've got two showings today, one at 11 o'clock and one at 12 o'clock. We've just missed the 11 o'clock one, but we're definitely going to be sticking around for the 12 o'clock. And it is 20 to 12, and it is already filling up in here. I don't remember exactly, but I'm fairly certain this is exactly the same stage that they used last year. I don't remember that they had screens at the back though, filling up the windows, so that's quite a nice new addition for this year. But if it's even half as good as it was last year, this is going to be a really fun show, all about trying to basically raise the spirit of Christmas and make Christmas magical again. And one of the most important things to point out is that there is a roof. So come rain or shine, this show will most definitely still be going on. Thankfully, for the first time this year, when we've come to a theme park, it is not raining today though, which is great news.
Hello, my little sugar plums. Hey, Christmas time, apples, granny, cappuccinos, it's another day from the ribbon. We need to get Sprout's Christmas spirit back without delay, or Christmas will be ruined. I say we give him a big old sprinkling of festive cheer.
First Noel to Papa Noel, first Noel to Papa Noel, we have a code, humbug. Christmas isn't about the presents, the decorations, the songs, or the food, aha, or the tap dancing.
Well, as you can see, the Sprout that saved Christmas was magical. What a brilliant show that still is. I'm fairly certain it follows the exact same plot that it did last year. There might be a couple of lines that they've tweaked up a little bit, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just a really enjoyable show. It is a bit loud, it's a bit intense. If you've got any really little ones, I think it might be a bit too much, but it's full of Christmas songs, it's full of dancing and singing. Honestly, it's brilliant. I definitely wish that they had more showings of that per day. You know, maybe sort of like 11, 12 and 2, just to sort of catch the back end of the day. But I can kind of see why the performers probably don't need to do an additional show. It looks exhausting for them. But it really was a great selection of songs and really embodied the spirit of Christmas. You know which, we're nearly up to Hex, and there's still the never-ending Christmas trees along the edge of the path. Oh look, it's the end of the Christmas trees. Don't worry, there's more. Well, green those this time rather than the purple. And look at all the bunting over the top of Hex. They're all Christmas presents. I'm sure they're not going to be able to pick up on it on the actual camera itself, but oh, that bunting's brilliant. And what do I spy up ahead? It looks like some kind of stage or something. I have no idea what this is. Oh, it's just like a cosy outdoor seating area sort of thing. Plenty of benches, but maybe could do with some cover. I hate to say this, but maybe they should have just kept Hex closed. I know it's a great indoor attraction for the winter, and I know I criticised Legoland for the exact same thing, but there's nothing else here. I mean, unless you need the toilets, those are open. The Cuckoo Cars, they're closed. David Williams Land, that's closed. Obviously Dark Forest is closed as well. So you do sort of ask the question as to why they've got this area of the park open at all. In my opinion, if they've gone to all the effort to make sure that Hex is open this Christmas, then the bare minimum I would expect open for this side of the park is a set of toilets and somewhere to eat. They have got the toilets open, but unfortunately the Oaken Chains, it's closed today. Maybe they could do with some of the more festive winter stalls up this side of the park as well though, even if it was just like a sandwich truck or something. It does just feel a little bit too quiet down this end of the park, but you can understand why nobody's here because, well, it's just Hex. Not that I don't love Hex though, it's a brilliant ride. I'm so glad it's been reopened for this season. Definitely going to head on it now. Somehow I doubt the inside is going to be as festive as it is out here though. They've done such a phenomenal job of modernising this ride without losing the very essence of it. So Hex was originally built and opened in the year 2000, so it would have been full of sort of the old style CRT TVs. All of those have been updated to more modern style TVs, but they still look like the classic examples, and it still feels super spooky in here. Does Alton Towers the best of Vekoma Madhouse in the UK? Yes, absolutely. Hex is brilliant. Is it the best in the world? I've no idea. I've never been on a Vekoma Madhouse outside of the UK before. But I'm so glad of all of the additions that Alton Towers has made to that over the last couple of years. It seems to be operating smoother than ever. It's absolutely chewing through its queue line, which it never really used to do, just because it wasn't all that busy though, to be fair. And like I said whilst I was in there, the little changes that they've made in updating the TVs, updating the lighting in there, adding some extra stuff to the showroom itself as well, it's worked so well. And it's definitely been a bit of an ethos in the last couple of years from Alton Towers, updating old rides rather than adding new attractions, which I don't hate. It's nice. Obviously they've got Toxicator, which was new for this year, and they've got the Bluey ride obviously coming for next year as well. So I'm glad that they've started to make a bit more of a change towards some newer attractions rather than exclusively updating the older stuff. Obviously that does take away from the fact that they have had a few good ride additions over the last few years. I mean, the Curse at Alton Manor is a great example of it. I think that's a brilliant ride. I think what upsets me the most is that they had to lose Jewel to put it in its place. And honestly, I think that Jewel was one of my favourite sort of blaster style rides that they used to have in the UK. It was so interactive, so many animatronics. It was a real shame to see it go. I'm glad that they've been able to reuse a lot of it for the Curse. But, you know, you're still losing an attraction which was a little bit more suitable for that early teen audience, whereas the Curse is definitely more adult orientated. But it is well past lunchtime and we've not eaten yet, apart from a bit of festive munch. So we're heading back to the courtyard at Mutiny Bay to go and see if we can get some festive delicacies. So I think I'm going for the Sleigh Ride Street Kitchen and their festive hot dog. I'm going to upgrade to the Christmas loaded fries. I'm hoping you still get Merlin discount here as well. Well, I tell you what, I am really impressed. Yes, the size of this hot dog and chips, it's enormous, and it's only cost $13.60 with Merlin discounts. I just hope it tastes as good as it looks. Well, I decided to make the long trip from Mutiny Bay over to the lunchbox just so there was somewhere to sit under cover. And well, what can I say about that festive hot dog and festive fries? I usually set pretty low expectations when it comes to festive food at theme parks, but I am pleased to say that that thing absolutely blew me away. So the festive dog, it was such a juicy, nice classic hot dog. Apparently it's a turkey hot dog, which I genuinely wouldn't have been able to tell unless somebody told me. And it came with crispy kale and crispy onions on top. Should come with mustard, not the biggest fan of mustard, so had that off. And I also ordered that alongside the festive fries, because you can top up for an extra £2.50, which was well worth it. So you get fries, cranberry sauce, pigs in blankets, you get spring onions on the top as well, and that was absolutely brilliant. Genuinely, it was a solid 9 out of 10. I'm not entirely sure what I would have improved. Maybe the bun. The bun was a bit... but it was meant to be a vegan brioche bun apparently, and it was definitely missing something of the fluffiness of a normal hot dog bun. £13.60 including the Merlin discount, so it would have been about £16 I think without it. I was thoroughly impressed. But it does lead on to a slightly bigger point, and probably the biggest downside of today so far is the fact that there is barely anywhere open to eat at Alton Towers. So you've got the Costa Bar right at the front of the park at the bottom of the main street, and you've also got the lunchbox in CBeebies land. That's it for indoor seating areas. Beyond that, you've got a couple of food stalls on the way down to Mutiny Bay, and then obviously the courtyard's open for drinks as well. The courtyard is where they hold the show for the Sprout That Saved Christmas, and so that's all undercover, but it's not indoors. So if you're not really a sort of burger and hot dog lover, then the lunchbox it is, and it is a bit out of the way. I made the point when I was up by Hex, it wouldn't have cost them an awful lot to keep the woodcutters, the oaken chains open for this part of the season, and it would have given an extra dining option somewhere else on the park. It would have been undercover, different sort of food, and they probably could have served the festive burgers in there and it wouldn't have cost them anything more. They decided against it, and honestly, I'm impressed enough with the food as it was. Just a little bit disappointed with the variety that was on offer here today. I've got to show you this though. Forgot to mention, when I finished off the festive hot dog, it had a themed paper napkin at the bottom of the tray. I don't know if Alton Towers has done these before, but I thought that was a really impressive little attention to detail that I really didn't expect. It's great to see some of the outlines of some of the rides. You've got the Smilers Marmalizer on there. You've got sort of the main Alton Towers logo, the Corkscrew 13. They're just a really cool little hidden Easter egg. But we are just starting to come towards the end of the day at Alton Towers, and honestly, it's been really good. I don't think it's been quite as good as Drayton Manor was. Drayton Manor is taking top spot, and by some margin this year. I'd say Alton Towers is in a solid second place this year. And third place, probably going to the Legoland Discovery Centre in Manchester. Really enjoyed that. So on the whole, I'd say a very successful theme park Christmas. Just started it off on the wrong foot. So just some final thoughts to wrap up today. Whilst I do say that probably Alton Towers is the second best theme park to go to this year for Christmas, last year they also included the reindeer games as part of the event, which was a quick tour around sort of Main Street with 8 stalls to visit, and it gave you the opportunity to play some sort of like hands-on games, just like throwing like Skittles at stuff, throwing balls at Skittles even. And it did add just an extra interactive element to the sort of festive event, which, if I'm really thinking about it, this year is missing that a little bit, something along those lines. But it doesn't take away from what a brilliant day we've had. That just about wraps up a very good day at Alton Towers Resort. We'll have one last look at the Bluey Rollercoaster, and I'll thank you for watching along today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for plenty more content coming soon. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.